I want to welcome all of you. We are going to move very quickly because we have a lot of speakers that who are going to be imparting some amazing information and knowledge to you this morning. I just want you all to know that all of the people involved in this conference are deeply, deeply committed to diversifying our profession, legal education. We've been working hard, extremely hard, to make this the best conference that we could. I'll just give you kind of a glimpse. Many of us got maybe about 20, 30 minutes of sleep last night preparing for all of you because we care so deeply and we wanted to make this a really first-rate experience and have everything prepared for you. So I just want to welcome all of you, let you know from wherever you come, we are so happy to see you here in Washington. We hope that all of you make the most of this experience, and we look forward to meeting all of you and having all of you take full advantage of all the opportunities that we're going to be providing for you today and tomorrow. Thank you so much. And I'm going to introduce our first special guest. He's going to give some remarks. Georgetown University's Latin American Law Students Association is one of the co-sponsors of this event. And because of them, we're able to have all of our evening activities at Georgetown. We'll have some panels there, we'll have a mock class, we're gonna have a pizza dinner there, we're gonna have a reception there, and all that's possible because of the student groups there who said that we want to be affiliated with this conference and we want the students, diverse students from all over the country to be able to come here and have these activities on our campus. So I'm going to go ahead and have the president of the Latin American Law Students Association at Georgetown, Luiz Perez, speak with you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. My name is Perez, and as president of the Latin American Law Students Association, it is my pleasure and honor to welcome you to the inaugural National Diversity Pre-Law Conference here in Washington, D.C. The Latin American Law Student Association, or LALSA for short, is really proud to co-sponsor this event. LALSA is an organization that aims to empower aspiring Latino lawyers and give them the tools to excel in the legal profession and to be leaders in their community. We're especially proud to co-sponsor this conference because its goals are so similar to our own. It is truly exciting to see a room full of diverse individuals that have come from all over the country to learn more about the law and about pursuing the legal education. It is exciting that you are here, not only because this conference is an opportunity for you to learn about law school and the law school admissions process, but the conference really aims to empower and to encourage you to become leaders in your community and in your future profession. As diverse individuals, many of us probably come from communities that face great challenges in society and are really in great need of leaders. A law degree can help give you the power to help solve some of these pressing needs. And so we need more diverse lawyers so they can go back to their communities and use their legal education to make a difference. I hope that you will contribute to this mission. Now, the good news is you have taken the correct first step by coming to this conference. And this conference will aim to give you some of the tools to be able to do that. So with that, it is again my pleasure and LALSA's pleasure to welcome you to the conference and later on to our law school. And I hope that you will enjoy the conference, and I look forward to seeing many of you later on at the reception. So with that, I will introduce our next speaker, which is Ms. Naima Walker-Fierce, the Senior Director of Legal Recruiting at Weil.
Thank you, Antonio. I'd like to tell you how honored I am to be here on behalf of Weil Gotshal, which is a gold sponsor of this conference. And many of you have hopefully not yet heard of Weil, but we're a 1,200 lawyer global law firm. More importantly, we're a firm, I think, that was very much on the forefront of diversity initiatives. And when I arrived at the firm 10 years ago, after having practiced law for 8 years, I came to help manage the corporate department. I was a transaction lawyer, and what I realized, very unfortunately, was from the moment I started practicing law at another global law firm to the point in which I arrived at the current global law firm, there had not been a great change in the number of diverse lawyers. And so it was disheartening, and so I'm sort of deviating from my prepared remarks, but what I want to encourage you to do is really think from this day forward about yourself, not only as diverse, which you obviously are, but how your unique diversity is going to play out for the rest of your life as a lawyer. And if that means you end up at a large law firm like mine, that's wonderful. If you become a judge, that's wonderful. If you do pro bono work or work for the government, that is all wonderful. But you have to sort of, from this day forward, own that process, right? Because you all are in a very privileged position. Literally, as Antonio said, you've taken the first step because you're here. When I started law school at Northwestern in 1993, this didn't exist, really. I had never met a lawyer, didn't know what lawyers did, and literally sort of on a whim, I took the LSAT and thought, I'm going to go to law school. And what that meant was, by definition, I was somewhat disadvantaged, right? Because I didn't realize the various opportunities, I didn't realize what law school entailed. And so really, realize from this day forward, you are in a better position than a lot of your non-diverse peers will be at law school, right? Because you've had the benefit of hearing from us, right? You've had Evangeline's phenomenal hard work in bringing you here. We sponsor an inordinate amount of conferences. We probably spend $750,000 a year on conferences, and I don't think I've ever seen anyone put as much effort and love into a conference. So you guys should be grateful for that, and I suppose I want to interrupt and give Evangeline a round of applause. So although this is a diversity conference, and that's what you all have in common, I do want you to think of your diversity as a unique asset, and think of this day as giving you a leg up when you go to law school. Now that being said, I'm going to now tell you two things. One, it may seem counter to what I just said, but the two things that I planned to tell you initially were, first, it may seem odd, but I want you all to smile. Like right now, I want you to smile. And what I want you to do, your first day of law school and every day thereafter, when you go into a class, irrespective of whether it is contracts and you love it, or it is civil procedure and you hate it, which I did, I want you to smile, okay? Because you're going to create a routine. And a lot of folks in here who are sports fans know a lot of sports psychology involves changing habits. And to do so, you need to add a new routine, right? What you will find, unfortunately, and this happens when folks start practicing law, right? There's groupthink. Law students show up and they are miserable at law school, right? Everyone says, this is hard, this is terrible, what were we thinking? I want you to do the opposite. I want you to smile. And I want you to keep smiling, because there is going to come a day when it's all going to click, right? And you are going to realize that not only are you privileged to be undertaking, one of the most, obviously arduous, but one of the most sort of long-lasting, endearing professions, right? That most people, anyone on this planet could undertake, right? We have a spectacular judicial system, and you're going to learn it. So I want you to smile, and when you start smiling, and then when it clicks, right, you realize, I'm privileged to be in this classroom, you're then going to own that process, right? And unlike a lot of lawyers I know who say, if I could go back to law school, I would have done it differently, right? I would have enjoyed it. I would have raised my hand. I would have really thought about what I was learning as opposed to trying to get through it. So just smile. If you remember nothing else from what I said, smile. And then the second thing, which is somewhat counter, but I actually think it will flow once you enjoy law school, and that is, and I don't want to scare you, but a little fear is always a good thing, right? Grades are far more important than you can imagine. So work hard, right? And then give 10% more. Because I spend months at probably 30 law schools around the country. I will be at Georgetown, I think on the 14th of August, meeting students. And before I go on campus, I probably look at 5,000 resumes of second years, right? I then go on campus, we interview roughly 1,300, I bring back 300 to my office, I then talk to them in my office, they meet partners, they meet associates, I then make 150 offers, and then roughly 75 of them will come work for me the following summer, right? And there's a great deal of research currently that will indicating and proving that grades are not an indicator of success as a lawyer. And in some instances, there's a negative correlation, right? However, it's the only proxy that employers have, right? If they have your resume, and they have your transcript, they don't know how hardworking you are. They don't know whether you have something called grit, which is being talked a lot about. There's a professor, a law professor named Bill Henderson, who's written extensively on grit, right? And the fascinating thing is, it really is about hard work and whether you're going to stick to it, right? Which is what I look for, because I need to know who is going to be here at 4 a.m., right, to finish a deal, and not only not complain, but sort of love doing that work, which is a hard thing to ask people to do, right? But if you really think about it, you've all got grit, right? It's just like your diversity is an asset, right? You're coming here today is an asset. And the fact that you showed up on a Friday morning, often in suits, is sort of an indication of your willingness to work hard, which leads to grit, right? So take that with your smile, right? Go into the exam smiling, and then do that extra 10% to get from a B to a B plus, or a B plus to an A. Because when your resume comes across the desk of someone like me, before I can interview you to determine your grit, right, and determine whether you're going to work hard and love this profession, all I have are the grades. So really, really make an effort to do well. I think that's it. I think I spoke far longer than Evangeline wanted me to. But with that being said, unfortunately, I don't think the person speaking after me has arrived. But I think, Miguel, if you could come up and give remarks, that would be spectacular. Thank you all. And again, smile and please get good grades.